Alrighty, hi everybody. So before I get into it, I'll dispel the name a bit. It is based off a geographic location in the area. It's the TooGood Arm. We're on the coast of northern Newfoundland, so you can resist from saying the dad jokes that it's too good to be true because it's a geographic location. So my name is Colin Smith. I'm CEO and Director of TooGood Gold Corp. We're a fairly new story. We just got listed in July of last year. And we're advancing a district-scale, high-grade gold play in the beautiful northern coast of Newfoundland, and a small place called New World Island. Ironically, I was quite familiar with this asset in years past. It used to be the flagship asset of Prospector Metals Corporation, Discovery Group company. I worked at Discovery Group for the better part of 8 years, as did our VPX, Joe Price, who's in the audience. And probably saw that Prospector pivoted to the Yukon and had a pretty monster hole at the Mike Lake property, and so it was a good pivot. But this became non-core because they brought in some strategic investors, including B2 Gold, Troilus, who they optioned ML off of, and this became non-core. So we caught wind of that and put a company together backed by Matt Roma, Darren Devine, and Sean Kunkun as well, and myself, and I'm keen to tell you a lot about it here. So in 2022, when Prospector had it, very first drill program of the project's history, they made a new discovery, near surface high-grade gold showing called Quinlan. They drilled 15 of 19 holes with showings of visible gold in the drill core. Remained fully open along strike and at depth. So we came back in this summer and drilled another 2,000 meters into Quinlan, 30 holes at that target and 3 holes at a new district scale trend, which we'll get into in a bit. District scale play, so it's 164 square clicks. We've been actively consolidating as much of the ground up there as we can. It's great rocks, great structure. I'm a geologist by trade, early stage exploration for the most part, right up to M&A takeover, but huge amount of opportunity at TooGood. And Newfoundland it's not like some of the more established gold belts in Canada and Southwest US that have seen decades upon decades of iterations of exploration and drilling. It's a very much an emerging gold district. And we're on the same structural corridor as the Valentine Lake mine, which is Equinox's recently producing, as of last year, gold mine, but a 200,000 ounce per year operation out of the gates. So there's big deposits in Newfoundland. They just haven't been looked for as much as other belts in Canada, which is great. A lot of opportunity for discovery still. The team collectively responsible for over $4 billion in value accretion for shareholders, both in the form of M&A and accretion in the markets. Experience of the team, past and present, includes Snowline Gold, Dolly Varden Silver, Discovery Group, SSR Mining, to name a few. So a quick summary of the team. Fellow directors on the board include Matt Roma, who was founding CFO of Snowline Gold, Darren Devine, Chairman, Dolly Varden Silver, Sean Kunkun, who needs probably no introduction. So very, very strong team, very strong capital markets team, great access to capital, great deal flow, and gives a lot of credibility to the company, the business model, and ultimately the asset as well. This is just a quick summary of some of the M&A deals and value creation of the team of TooGood over the years, both in the form of M&A and elevated share prices. So, the model's in place. We hope to replicate something similar here at TooGood. Quick view of the cap structure and spend. 84 million shares out, fully diluted, a little over 93 million. We've got about $3.5 million in the bank, so we're fully funded for exploration this year, and market cap sitting around 15 million bucks. And 20% insider ownership, so we're participants in private placements. We buy in the open market and put our money where our mouth is. And why Newfoundland? A lot of reasons, really. I mean, on a map, it certainly looks like it's kind of no man's land, but actually you fly into an international airport in Gander, drive a highway right up to the project, and we have a paved highway that goes right through the guts of the whole TooGood Gold project. There's electrical lines, water, skilled workforce, and it's a major driver of the economy in Newfoundland. So it's a great place to work. It consistently ranks in the top 10 of the Fraser Institute in terms of attractiveness for investment in the business. And like I said before, it's a very underexplored jurisdiction for gold. We're only about 50 clicks north of the Queensway project with Newfound Gold. So it's a very fertile district, and it's very fertile based on what you see in the drill core as well. So this is the project as it is today. We've greatly expanded the position. When I started, it was about 111 kilometers squared. Now it's up to 164, so we've consolidated as much as we could into one big contiguous block now. The trend from sort of northeast to southwest is close to 30 kilometers, and You see the center of mass located around most of the data in that southwestern block. You see the little white dots, that's the location of the Quinlan discovery. As you step away from that, most of the project is effectively unexplored. So the soils that you see in the northeastern block there that are sort of northwest, southeast orientated, those are some of the regional soils that we started to collect last summer. Taking a bit of a page out of Kennerland's book in the fact that this is a big district scale play. First pass geochemistry is a great way to evaluate things cost effectively and rapidly. And in the case of TooGood, there's very little cover here. So in all the drilling to date, the average overburden thickness is about 3.5 to 4 meters, and soils are very, very effective. So when you get a soil anomaly, it's pretty much a dead ringer for in situ gold, pretty close to source. Arsenic is also a very good indicator, so we really very much look closely at both those analytes for gold. The Gold Nugget project, which is a part of this position now as you see it today, is a 3,000 hectare block that we acquired last year and is probably going to be a big part of the story moving forward. It consolidates about 15 kilometers of undrilled trend. We drilled actually 3 holes in the southwestern extent of it at the Melange, and we hit gold in 3 of those holes, and so it really established this whole trend as a fertile gold belt worth investigating. So the Quinlan discovery, and sort of, I love this slide because it hammers home boots on the ground, fundamental geoscience. And it was first discovered from a soil anomaly in 2022. It was followed up by outcrop peeling. It unearthed this beautiful 3 to 5 meter wide felsic dike that comes right to surface. Channel sampling across the dike returned some very, very high numbers in gold multi-ounce material. And prospectors stepped down dip of it and drilled it. And they hit VG in 15 and 19 holes. So not often do you have that sort of a hit rate in the first swing of the bat at a target. So it's certainly worth following up, which we did this year. But you walk up to the dike, and if you look long enough, you can see half centimeter blebs of VG oozing out of this thing all over the place. It's pretty remarkable. And this is one of probably 20 to 25 targets that are within a 3 kilometer radius of Quinlan that shows very similar geology, structure, and mineralization. So this is just a quick summary of the 2022 drilling discovery from Prospector. You see some of the assay highlights there. So, anytime you're getting 80 plus gram meter intervals in the first phase of drilling at a target, it's pretty exciting. And this thing was just fully open along strike and at depth. So we came in this summer, we drilled 2,000 meters. 30 of those 33 holes were at Quinlan. 3 of those holes were at the Melange contact, which is part of this district scale trend that we're investigating in the Golden Nugget. So all 30 of the holes that we drilled at Quinlan hit the dike. So sometimes these things pinch and swallow and disappear, but this thing was present in all the holes we drilled, so it's still fully open along strike and at depth. And one of the highlight numbers was a little over 29 meters at 2.3 grams, very near surface, and actually was the best hole in the southwesternmost hole to date. So it's fully open along strike to the southwest, and it's also trending in terms of grade and thickness in that direction as well. The Melange contact is kind of an east-west trend, Quinlan sort of north-east, southwest, and those 2 trends are going to coincide as you move to the southwest of the drilling at Quinlan. So the structural intersection of those 2 trends is something we're going to be drilling in the future, and any geoscientist loves a good structural intersection, especially when they're both carrying gold. So the yellow block that you see there, that's the acquisition we made last year, and that's the Gold Nugget project, 3,000 hectares. The thing that really got us excited about this was there's about an 8.5 kilometers trend of gold in outcrop along the shoreline. So a subset of those rock samples, about 150 samples, graded over a gram per ton and average about 7 gram per ton. And almost 90% of those samples were reported as outcrop sourced in the database. No drilling, no soils to speak of. So we started to collect soils coming from the coastline, inland from the trend, and also conducted a detailed mapping and structural program along the whole coastline to advance this as quickly as can to a drill ready stage. So a lot of smoke out there, but this is an early stage play, and it's a discovery forward project. All right, 28 seconds left. I think we're going to make it here, guys. So great team, backed by folks involved with Snowline, Dolly Varden Silver, Discovery Group. I think we have a very high leverage asset in a tier 1 jurisdiction. We can work almost year round. Amazing infrastructure. Highway goes right through the project area. Electrical lines, and very supportive communities. And I believe it's an emerging gold district. If you're looking for a high torque investment with a discovery upside, take a good look at TooGood Gold Corp, and thank you very much for your time.